me see if I can bring up Chatham. What a boring ass motherfucking tune that is. Holy. All right, I just had to listen back for a second to see what it sounded like because I didn't do an audio check ahead of time. I was gonna, but I didn't. What's up? Out of my fucking mind today. That was fucking lame though. I don't know about any.
You'll be back! Emus can't help people customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, I can't be, Jesus. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I need something pretty heavy, I think. Wah, 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 wah. All right. All of a sudden, I feel like I'm getting a bunch of noise. Laura, what's up, sister? Heather, cheers to you. B, Casper. Oh, yes, it's late as night. I streamed that stupid Trump rally like a fucking idiot that I am. Knowing it wasn't going to be healthy. You know, and it's like, Jesus Christ, what am I subjecting other folks to? Seriously, though. Like, for fuck's sake, man. And then I was like, in a mood anyways, you know, so my guitar was like, TV, just fucking beat the shit out of me for a minute. Is Fred here too? How'd I miss him? That's weird, I don't see Fred. Fucker probably blocked me. I don't know, Laura. I couldn't listen. Like, I didn't mute it, but I was in and out of the studio and I was yapping with Stephanie for a little bit and just kind of chatting with other folks. And there was a few chuds in the chat. So I'm being honest with you. I didn't listen like a lot. Fuck, I don't know what to say. I've streamed so much of his bullshit. I don't know. No, I didn't. I don't know. I assume he probably did rip on. He ripped on everybody else. I know he. I mean, he's. That's how he always does it. He spends more time talking about how fucked up everybody else is supposedly, because he doesn't have any accomplishments of his own to talk about, right? Like, it can be tough, I guess, to sit there if you've done well to present that to folks in a humble sort of way, but he isn't humble and he hasn't done well. And so I guess I mean, I think it's a test because, this sounds crazy, but I think it's a test. I feel like it's a personal test in some way. I'm not a religious fella, but like this guy is never gonna be held accountable. And that's really, really hard to accept. And I have to figure out why it is hard to accept for me to accept outside of just, we need to have some semblance of order in society, right? I feel like it's more than that with me, and that's probably not a good thing, right? Like, I honestly don't feel like need to see this guy suffer. I feel like it's such an incredible wrong that has been done, and the ignorance of his supporters is clearly dangerous and threatening to the great American experiment. I mean, you have to, we really don't have, we don't have any other choice as individuals but to do the absolutely best we can based on whatever information we have. And, some of us libs, me included, raise hell about people fucking leading with their feelers, right? But I think you have to a lot. I mean, if you are completely without emotion, then you can't possibly have humanity, or you can't possibly be humane where it counts. I don't think that's possible. It's discouraging because with what this little ass channel and what I do is ultimately, I get all the fucking pushback from folks about how Trump is tearing my life apart, and it's like he hasn't changed one aspect of my life. It's what he's doing to our country. I mean, it's not Trump's actions aren't Trump being in office isn't likely to make things much worse for me or make my life harder in any way, um, outside of seeing all of all of societies, America, around the world, suffer because I don't know what to say, you guys. I don't. I mean, it's not, you know, before the end of Trump's first term, probably 2 years in, right? I was like, I was never a Hillary fan, and it's a really tough thing. I mean, I guess if we could avoid all the bullshit by having gotten Hillary elected without ignoring all the bullshit that we're dealing with, because that's the problem, is there is a bad issue in America, and that is how Trump got elected. And so had we been able to dodge the bullet of Trump being elected in 2016 and or last year, I don't think it would make I think it would have made things worse, right? Because a Trump was coming, whether it was Trump himself or somebody else. It was coming, and I almost feel like obviously, uh, if we had waited longer, we'd still be going through this, and it'd probably be much worse, you know? No, I don't know. I still don't see Fred. Is he here? That's strange. I wonder if I did block Fred somehow. No, I don't know. I don't know if I blocked Fred on the last stream or what. Fred is here. I don't think that's our Fred. Yeah, it's not our Fred. He said he was gonna fucking turn me in for copyright infringement. Can somebody relieve that motherfucker of his stress? Please. Laura, I don't know what's going on, but like they block the host account. Sorry, I have a bad guitar chord. I've told the story about this guitar chord, but I don't think it's Fred because he said YouTube will investigate copyright infringement on UTV live. Yeah, that's not Fred. Fred has like a fucking just a generic alt account. Yeah, it's not Fred. Thank you, Laura. There's he would not let me suffer like that. Wondering. Yeah, for some reason I knew jamming wasn't going to be a great idea. Did Trump joke he should be the next pope? He's a fucking. You guys, I can't. You can. Nobody's told me to shut the fuck up on about it yet. Like, nobody said, yeah, TV, we hear you. Shut the fuck up about it. It's his supporters. Hitler was just a short, angry guy without his fucking supporters. Without people to fucking do his dirty deeds. Without people to echo his fucking lies and bullshit. And so, of course, then you think, okay, well, if that's the case, Trump is where he's at because he has 70 plus million people that voted for him and supporting his wacky policies. Why? What's wrong with them? Why are they willing to refuse to just look at government sites and see what kind of bills are trying to be passed? Why do they refuse to, or why are they willing to ignore Trump's lie after blatant lie during his speeches, his absolutely over the top bullshit propaganda about his successes. What is it that what are they missing? I mean, how can they possibly think such a fuck up, such a lousy piece of fucking shit like Trump what can change whatever they don't like about their lives? I don't understand. It's really I mean it's extremely curious for one, but it's also, Stephanie said earlier, it's like it's this shit's frightening as hell at the end of the day. It really is. Laura, I tried to stream for you, kind of for you. I said in chat that I was filling in even though I didn't ever talk to you about it. I just seen that you weren't able to stream or weren't streaming news yesterday. I assumed probably because of the elections. So I tried to stream and I couldn't handle it. The commercials, the fucking sound bites, it was killing me. James, what's up, my brother? Yeah. James says Trump was hoping the Cardinals would choose him as Pope. Arizona told him to fuck off. Yeah, so that starts May 7th, you guys. I was a little surprised to hear that late last night. But I guess it's been, I don't know how long Pope Francis reigned for, however you want to say it, but I guess it's been long enough for me to forget how soon after. I felt like it was a real, like, just bam, 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 they needed to get it done the last time. But we kind of had, I don't think Pope Benedict served for all that long, right? So maybe that was the case. And I think Pope Benedict was fairly contentious. I believe it took quite some time, but also I think, what was it, Pope John Paul II had been in that position for, well, since before a lot of us were born. So, yeah, May 7th, I'll probably be streaming the conclave. I got my guess is now that it probably won't be very dramatic at all. Like, I'm guessing a couple days. Yeah, hopefully somebody took Fred out, the fake Fred out. The real Fred is usually his leopard avatar, and or he has one alt account where I think it's just enough. Yeah, Bill says popeless until May 7th. Yeah, you're welcome, Steph. Steph says thanks for showing Dinky's live fest. I wish there was some sort of counter to it. Steph back in the day, like last fucking year. I don't know, man. It's just so terrible. I swear, I brought up my conversation with Mighty and his Venus streams back in 2018, right? Like, I swear I seen it then, and not that I was the only one, but that he would just Trump was gonna his tactics were to just spew as many steaming piles of shit as big and as often as you can, and nobody will ever be able to keep up. It'll it'll create complete chaos in the media. It'll um, create division within what would normally be like parties, Republicans, Democrats, so on, so forth, right? Steph says the neighbors are barbecuing. Mrs. V did some barbecued meatballs tonight, and I made a shit ton of potato salad again yesterday. Putin, what's up, brother? Cheers to you. Putin says Pope Francis was Pope for 12 years, and that, I'm guessing, is at least probably 3, 4, 5 years longer than Pope Benedict. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like Pope Benedict was not didn't reign or wasn't the Pope for as long as Francis. Casper says there's a cardinal from Dublin called Kevin in charge till a new pope is elected. Cardinal Kevin. I like that. Kevin's in charge. So I mentioned, and actually, it's funny Putin comes in because I think he was the one who that I read the post about conclave not getting started till May 7th, and they could actually start 2 days earlier, but they said something about and this wasn't from Putin, but I read that they were wanting to give all the cardinals a chance to get to know each other a little bit or whatever. And it's so strange, right? And I'm sure like Casper and Bill, um, maybe James, know have much more better understanding of this shit than I do. But it's kind of it's sort of for sure a political atmosphere in a sense, right? Hopefully much more loving, I guess. But I mean, all these cardinals had to fly in from all, don't pardon the pun, all these cardinals had to fly in from all over the world, right? And they don't necessarily know each other or have ever met or even had any sort of interaction through writings or anything like that. I don't even know how many there are. Bill says ain't no cardinal from Dublin gonna get me out of a death sentence. Hell, he'd probably want to pull the lever. Bill, I have to say, like, it's cool having, obviously, I don't want to be all mushy. It's cool having you here because I've gotten to learn a lot about how much you love and appreciate being an American, but like you hold on to your Irish roots really I in a extremely humble way, but strongly. And I think that's a hard position to like, I mention you guys often, I guess, that I'm Dutch, right? But it's more in a clowny sort of way, I guess. But also having, like I was gonna say, having Casper here because the Irish folks are fucking tough, right? But extremely honest and humble in so many ways, but very, very. I don't know. Maybe it's doing a disservice to Irish folks if I say that kind of personally. Maybe I see myself like that. Like I'm pretty humble until um, you get me on the fucking key subject, right? And then I might be pissy and extremely outspoken. Did I just call Irish folks pissy? Oh, sweet. Laura got TDS1. Copyright infringement. I own my fucking mug. This is everything you hear and see here is all me, Brother Spleen. Man, it's fucking noisy. Hmm. Don't forget the Revolutionary War. Air Force, James, history is hard. Bill says that's Pope Francis's legacy, expanding the cardinalships to many countries that didn't have a missionary. Bill, so I was wondering about that as I was yapping about the cardinals having to fly in from all over the place. Why, or how is a cardinal post created and why? Is it one per country? Only Irish blood in me comes from the Lassies. We had to, yeah, but that's the strong part of the family, right? The matriarch. I know it is in your family, Bill, because I've yapped with you. Same with me, brother. We had to kidnap back to Scotland, but yeah, my folks are fresh off the boat. To you too. It's it's different that way. Right on, brother. Jim says one per diocese. So I don't know how many dioceses there are in a country. If it's population determined by the number of faithful. Thanks, Mac. I appreciate you, brother. I worked my ass. I finally had one of those moments like I was on a roll, and then I worked my ass off last week for about 2 nights on a song. And it's not terrible, but I don't know. Somewhere along the way, I lost the feel for it. I mean, it's not trash, but it's like, oh, maybe I'll play it on my way out or something. But there's not much to it. Yeah, I got a bad chord. That's shitty. Casper says part of Ireland and Scotland were a kingdom way back when, right? Well, I have Scottish blood. I've yapped one night with Bill for hours about my dad is Dutch. Both his parents were both his grand, my, both his grandparents came over when they were children on both sides of his mom and his father's side of the family, right? So, but my mom, her dad was Polish and mom was Scottish, and I grew up with her mom's side of the family. In fact, I never got to meet mom's father. But yeah, so I have a fucked up mix, Dutch and Polish, right? And then Scottish, of course. But like I was telling Bill before, my grandparents, my grandma and my great grandparents' last name is Scott. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I just always adhered to, kind of always gravitated towards the Dutch side of my family, even though I was raised by, spent most of my time with my mom and that side of the family. But, I don't know if I'm tough enough of a person to really claim my Scottish roots. I'm serious. Angela in the house. What's up, sister? Cheers to you. Good to see you. I know how's this? I know this mic probably sounds terrible, but you guys, but I was jamming out, so I don't have I'm not using the good mic. I'm using the pink dildo mic. I know it probably sounds a little bit noisy. Just a little bit thin, right? Yeah, we should have the jobs numbers come out for oh no, they probably came out for yeah, we seen them for March. So we won't see them for April until next week, right? Jim says FDX is putting planes in the desert. James says jobs report, tech earnings, inflation data, consumer sentiment, all of that, all out this week. Oh, it's so by Friday then. Yeah, right on. James says later in the week, I believe TV on Thursday, so possibly 2 days. Yeah, which would be what, May 1st? See, I got confused. I could have swore, I think I told some of you folks that the fucking Trump rally hit. God, it kills me. Why did he? Do any of you guys know why he chose Michigan? Is it just because of the auto industry or what? Like I don't get it. I mean, is it because it's a purple state? Is it? I don't know. It fucking yeah. It's a little extra aggravating. Whatever. But like I totally forgot what the fuck I was gonna say. Yeah, I forgot what the hell I was gonna say about Trump doing his rally. Putin says the devil unleashed. Bill says I think he's trying to plant an R flag in Michigan, like a permanent one. Yeah, obviously you guys, it was probably just as disappointing for you folks as it was for me, but I mean, we've come a long way here in Michigan with having such a strong Republican state house and Senate for 40 years, right? So I don't think it's definitely not over. There's going to be. I feel like we took a couple steps forward with Big Gretch and electing Biden in 2020, right? And so we took a step back in 2024, but it is what it is. I mean, it's crazy. You could look at the auto industry almost like a microcosm too of the U.S., right? You guys like that. Those folks are divided. I don't, and it's. I don't want to. I don't. I don't pretend to think that there aren't some legitimate reasons people. Well, I don't know how to word this. There probably isn't legitimate reasons to support Trump, no matter what your fucking personal issues and struggles are, and being pinned against the fucking big corp conglomerate or whatever the case is. But I hope that folks, no matter how hard they have it, I always try to, and you guys know this. I try not to speak for you folks, but in this case sense I think I can that I always try to I always do make sure I'm well aware that I am just one person, and even if my situation or my views on certain policies are absolutely relevant and justified, it's still just my personal situation, right? Like it doesn't apply to all of you guys. So, but I'm really how divided all these union workers are in the auto industry, especially here in Michigan. I don't know how to explain that other than some folks are just pissed off about not getting what they think is enough. That's how else is there to explain it, right? And then you have fucking liberal or even middle of the road moderates in these same unions that are just selfless people and are appreciative of what the fuck they have in life and what America has been able to give them, whether they're born here or not. You have those folks that are just exactly that way. They just are selfless and understand that if their Republican neighbor, their hardcore far right Republican neighbor, is sick and without insurance and can't make his house payments, that's not fucking helping them. But it's very, trust me, it's not as easy for me to say as it might sound like it is for me to say that I feel like there's a lot of ignorant fucking self-centered fucking Republican voters out there that just do not, at the end of the day, look, I brought this up before. You think about fucking circles, right? Is it planet Earth and then the Western countries and then America and then your state and then your county, then your family and then you? I know, I probably sound a little bit crazy, but think about that. Where does that fucking tribalism end? Do you think that fucking Republican cocksucker gives a fuck about the other Republican cocksucker at the end of the day? He doesn't. She doesn't. All right. With that, I'm going to take a short break, you guys. I appreciate you hanging out. I'm sure I'll have some more to say here in a minute when I get back. All right. Boy, I tell ya. Fair warning. A little bit of mellow TV too. That's why I do a BRB. I am back. Here comes the shock attack. Wondering if I got anything left in my vape pen. I don't want to be firing up the blowtorch and doing dabs on stream anymore. B says, hey guys, I was in a Social Security vid chat this evening that did a poll. 33% of participants said they were considering moving out of the country. I'm curious about that, B. Are those, I mean, are those folks all assumed Social Security claimants? And I wonder how that works with having your primary residence out of the country. As far as continue, I'm sure that you can't be denied your Social Security. I just wonder how that works. I honestly don't see how moving out of the country would help at all. I mean, I don't understand unless there's some sort of like you'd be looking at different tax brackets, and so you'd be able to save money that way. But as far as righting this wrong, it's going to take all of us. B says SS, SSDI, and SSI all ages. Mostly older. You can get SS anywhere in the world. Right. Yeah. No, I didn't think that. Angela says if they wouldn't get it here or reduced, it would be the same regardless of where they live. Right. I wouldn't think that they would be able to move and their benefits would somehow be protected in a way that they wouldn't be if they were still in the States. Um, I was thinking the exact opposite, that would it somehow even lessen their ability. Right. Bill says the savings would be in medical, costs to seniors or folks with medical conditions, right? Being able to get services much cheaper in just about any other country. Yeah, Putin says it'll go further in elsewhere. Doodle-doodle-doo, Yeah, Fred says again, protected for now. The GOP wants Social Security. What do you guys think? Can I get you guys to respond to TV a second? What are the chances of these huge cuts to Social Security? What are the chances of that happening? I mean, do you guys have any? Do you think it's like so close? I think it's probably so close that you can't call it, right? It seems absolutely fucking bonkers, obviously, to most of us, but that doesn't change what we think. Doesn't clearly doesn't change how the GOP is gonna. Yeah, it's tough. I can't call it. It seems really, really hard to believe that Social Security is going to get gutted the way that Trump wants it to happen. But it's when you think about the GOP led Congress, it doesn't seem like such a fucking doesn't seem so far out of reach, does it, for them fucks? Yeah, Angela says if the GOP doesn't grow a spine and stand up for the constituents, it will probably go through. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of like pretty much up in the air with it, Angela. Like I can see how it would absolutely pass. At the same time, wondering how the hell we. Yeah. James says the elections there in Oz are this coming Saturday, and it looks like the fascists are cooked. Well, that's good, James. I mean, that's what it's going to take, thankfully. It's sad to see almost the whole Western world uh, moving farther left or democratic, right, as the United States moves. Well, I don't know if I want to say we're moving more fascist, but certainly the party we have in control right now is. Yeah, Putin says they're going to try and cut medical insurance. James says, I'm proud about the fact that when asked here, what is your number one issue? It wasn't the economy, it was climate change. That is good stuff, James. Angela is watching some hockey and chat. B says we'll know it's over if they let him run for a third term. America will be gone. There's no way they can do that, B, without amending the Constitution. And that's going to be very. There's just no way that's going to happen in this amount of time. I mean, I don't know. Obviously I don't know all the different possibilities or loopholes, but I don't think there is anything. I think it's pretty tight. Um, and narrowed down to the fact that they would have to amend the Constitution to allow Trump to run for a third term. Putin says, I think they will try to do it, TV. All right, the ACA, SNAP benefits, Medicare, Medicaid, etc. Right on. Bill says Bill says you say that like the Constitution isn't being ignored now, TV. I know, dude. I've told you, man. No man, you guys. I'm not. I don't claim to have the most wide-eyed view of things, but you know I'm not ignorant. And yeah, yeah, I am still just completely fucking. You know, desensitized. That's the word I was looking for. Like desensitized to exactly. Yeah, I agree, Bill. The Constitution's being ignored. Fuck. I don't. I mean, everything's Trump is doing. He's still working within the laws, even though his executive orders are obviously illegal and illegitimate. They're going through the courts, but it's all this fucking it's the chaos that clearly is. And I mean, you can look at everything this bastard's putting our country through, our system through, uh, all three branches of government, right? Our economy, all of it. It's everything this bastard's putting us through is even as strong and resilient of a system and country and people as we are. It's proven to be extremely difficult. I get it, man. Yeah, that's good stuff, Bill. Don't be afraid to fucking shout me down, dude, because I don't ever want to become complacent. Yeah. I don't know. Is there some other way? I'm still thinking about, B's comment and Bill. Regardless, it still seems like that their only option would be to amend the Constitution. That's going to be a whole lot of work, but fuck, we don't know that. I mean, like, you know, the fall of 2028 comes around or the spring of 2028 comes around and the Republican Party, the GOP, decides that they're not going to run anybody but Trump. What do we say? I mean, it's going to go to the states are going to, again, you know, bring up the 14th Amendment, right? And the SCOTUS already ruled on that in a sense um, as far as Denver goes, I believe, or Colorado, excuse me. And that, they ruled that a state can't keep a candidate off the ballot in a general election. But clearly this is going to be a whole different plate, right? For SCOTUS would have to review it. They would have to, right? I mean, it's not a matter of keeping Trump off the ballot in any given state or having 50 different states deciding if this candidate can be on the ballot for general election or not because of crimes convicted for. I mean, our Constitution. So there was a question with the 14th Amendment because it never said that someone being convicted of a felony was not eligible, right? And that's kind of, I guess, what it came down to. So that's not going to wouldn't be the case if Trump tried to run again in 2028. Yeah, exactly. Putin says 2028 third term, so we run Obama again. There would be just all kinds of fucking chaos. Putin, that's funny. Putin says, TV, you need some pirate braids in that beard. Dude, I got to bring this up for you. I've been watching Bill Hellmuth. Uh, Poker tournament. And there is one of the fellas on there, 3Coin, has some fucking killer fucking beard braids. Oh no, they took it down. It's done. Son of a bitch.
If you want to drop your auto insurance rate, then don't skip this video.
Oh, maybe.
Take a
Hold
look.
on.
I've removed my personal info.
Okay, I thought I was joking before. I was just making sure.
We could do it sitting now. Holy shit.
Wow, we would have played a big.
Turn one off.
All right, I got it. Check this out, Putin. I'm all excited. That's funny you said that, dude. I couldn't because how does he wash this shit? I've talked to Jay about it before, actually, but I just feel like having dreads is one thing, but basically having dreads with fucking beads and shit in it, there's just no way, man. There's be no way to get that shit clean. It's not very clear, but he has all kinds of jewelry in his fucking beard there. His shit's probably a little bit longer than mine, but I've been keeping it trimmed back a little bit. There it is. 3Coin. Texas or high stakes poker player. Anyways. Alright, enough of that shit. Yeah, that's funny. Jay shows up. Yeah. See, I've asked Jay about that a long time ago, like what a bitch it must be. He told me keeps him trimmed with the car door or an occasional car door and just walking down the street. I love you, brother. That's good stuff. But again, like having dreads like Jay has, it's one thing because you can fucking wash through that shit. But if you got a bunch of fucking beads in the way, I have to imagine it gets a little tougher. Jay's got 7 foot fucking dreads. That's badass. I'm a little jelly because, yeah, you guys know I can't grow hair anymore unless it's on my chin. Yeah, it's so brittle though, man. I feel like if it's definitely not, I mean, it's not short, but it's not long. It's not long enough to braid. I'd have to let it get a lot longer and I don't know, maybe stop shaving so close, so tight, so it got a little bit thicker. But if I started braiding this shit, it would break. I mean, it's so brittle. I can't stand it, honestly. The only thing I hate more than having a beard is shaving. Angela says leave-in spray conditioner. Angela, back in the day when I had hair to have a mohawk, like, and I had it down to my ass, yeah, I would not fully rinse out my conditioner, right? Because I used a lot of fucking mousse back then. Putin says beard wax, for fuck's sake. But I'm not a metrosexual. I know, Putin, it's weird. I'm a little bit OCD about like maintaining my shit, but then yeah, I'm a little bit slappy like about not doing some of these care products that would probably like it's uncomfortable. Holy fuck, man. There's spots on my chin it hurts. It's like fuck. Sick of it's like little fucking bones growing out your face. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. Jay says he bought a beard comb for his goatee from when he records YouTube vids. Dude, I used to be way more anal about it. I don't know if you guys probably don't notice. Like, I'm completely unshaven now, you know? I would never get on these streams unless I had my fucking face clean shaven, didn't have my fucking chest showing, wasn't wearing a do-rag. I have an old rat tail comb that I always comb my shit out after the shower. Especially if I'm gonna do see how pointy it is? I try and get a little more square. I don't have a fucking comb up here. Putin says it hurts, but I won't put some balm on it because not macho enough. Exactly. Honestly, brother, you know me. I'm not a macho type. Maybe, I don't know. I hope I don't come off like that. Maybe in some ways. I'm a fucking Dutchman, dude. Seriously, like, I'm not buying shit to put on my fucking beard. I don't know. Maybe I will. I do wash my face. I'm a little bit anal about that, man. Every time I fucking touch it, do it. Not my face so much, but my hands for sure. Jay says it takes work to keep it on point. Angela says, call me one side, but I'd like to see Walls run. I don't know what to say, Angela. You know how much I love Big Gretch, too. And every time I start thinking this, for some reason, Bill pops into my head because he's fucking hardcore to the point. Like, I think, man, you know, we have to have a consensus for one thing in the primaries, right? Or at the end of the primaries. I think most of it, I don't know. I mean, like we should just be fucking pushing balls out in a sense, just like the fucking far right is. Even though maybe that's not where I would ultimately want to land, I guess I'm more of a middle of the road person, left leaning middle of the road, as probably most of you are. And I mean by that I mean like for the most part we're all fiscal conservatives in our homes, right? Yeah, it's tough. I don't know who we run. I feel like it's a bunch of fucking shit that we can't run a woman or we'll have a hard time running a minority in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that we should be, you know, just for the sake of doing so, obviously, but you know, our country needs more adequate representation, especially at the top. What you got for me, Putin? Dutch beer. That's good shit. Dutch beard balm. $15.99 or only 4 payments of $4? Our beard balm is unique and the first of its kind, really. Our butterless balms. What? See, that's what's weird. So do most beard balms have actual fucking butter in them? That would be the thing. Like, I don't want no fucking animal fat on my face. I have enough of my own. And the first of its kind, butterless balms, locks in moisture, controls flyaway hairs. I have that. Keeps your beard hydrated to perfection. Made with 100% all natural ingredients. I wonder if these guys would promote the show or be a sponsor, Putin. Our beard balm will not weigh your beard down or leave it feeling or looking greasy, and is designed to pair perfectly with your favorite Honest 8 beard oil. All right. I'll bet you they have some 8 beard oil to sell, don't they? Ingredients are local Ohio beeswax, organic coconut oil, which I do use. Like, I've always used coconut butter for skin lotion instead of any other lotion. Like when my hands would get dry, I use coconut butter, it's called. Sweet almond, grapeseed, avocado, and vitamin E. And it's unscented. Awesome. Dutch beard balm. Yeah, I've always honestly I've used coconut butter for a very long time on my skin. Only like it's not something I every time I get out of the shower or whatever. Usually if I just started getting a lot of cracked hands, fingers. All right, you guys have wasted another perfectly good 90 minutes. I appreciate you hanging out with me. That whole Trump rally thing was a real I feel like I have so much to say, and without a doubt it's pretty much fucking weightless, right? Like it just doesn't fucking matter what we say anymore. We're all want to always work within the law and the Constitution, and we're getting had, by Project 2025 folks and extremely smart, conniving attorneys. But I'll be here. I know you guys will be around, that's for sure. So I appreciate you, all right? I'm just going to fuck off. We'll see y'all again real soon. For sure, for sure. Be good. Peace and love. TV2 out.
Oh,